experienced virtual person in this meeting, so don't worry about us.
No, I'm not worried. I will tell you though, my 6-year-old grandson is the one that taught me to use the virtual background. So
Well, it looks very real.
Judge, you might be the most experienced virtual person in this meeting, so don't worry about it.
all right. Okay. We are now live on YouTube. We're in a brave new world, so I'm going to ask everybody's cooperation to make this work. The major thing is that only one person can talk at a time. So if anybody has an objection or has something to say that they think requires them to interrupt another lawyer, please raise your hand and be recognized, or say the word objection and don't say anything else. Simone is going to try to take all this down. It's certainly more challenging than in a courtroom, and we've got enough people here that that can make it even more challenging. Mr. Dick, who's going to be the lead attorney on this case for the state?
Judge, the lead lawyer originally was Miss Mitchell, and so she'll take the lead in the case, although she now works in Fort Bend. So the day-to-day handling of the case will be Mr. Smith, Danny Smith, but all three of us would be involved in the trial.
All right, who's going to be the lead attorney today?
Judge, I think we might all participate. I'll take the lead at first, but I have a feeling both of them will have a lot to say.
All right, are there any pending motions from the state's point of view?
I don't think there's any pending motions. I think what we were hoping to do today was clarify sort of the status of where we are in the case. I think, Ms. Jernigan, her request for relief from the Court of Appeals was to allow Ms. Harrison to withdraw her original plea. And the way the appellate ruling came down, we were just a little unclear whether that needs to happen today or that's the effect of the Court of Appeals ruling, is to essentially just set us back to the beginning. And then I guess just to assess who her trial counsel is going to be.
Do you have any, I mean, my understanding of the law is clearly that a reversal takes us back to the beginning. We need a new plea. And so do you have any authority to the contrary on that?
I don't. That's kind of what we assume too, is it basically takes us back to the beginning as if the plea hadn't happened. But we just wanted to clarify that.
Well, that's going to be the court's position unless somebody comes up with some authority to the contrary. All right, Ms. Jernigan, are you going to be trial counsel in this case?
Your Honor, I'm not on the list for court-appointed trial attorneys in Williamson County. I have often, when this situation has occurred, been appointed as second chair trial counsel, since I have, a lot of knowledge about the case and, have known Ms. Harrison now for 3 years, I guess. My request, I made in an email a couple months ago or a month ago, was there is a lawyer that's on the court-appointed list for trial lawyers named Bill Hines, and he's assisted me with this case already somewhat, so he's familiar with it. And so that was my request, that he be appointed. I know that we have a wheel and all of that, but that's my request. And I sent him the Zoom link just in case you wanted to speak with him or had any questions for him as well.
Mr. Dick, do you all have any objection to Mr. Hines?
Judge, we don't have any objections. I think that's certainly within the court's province as to who you would appoint for Ms. Harrison. So as long as he's otherwise qualified, we're familiar with Mr. Hines too. So.
All right. I'm going to talk to the court coordinator after the hearing, and I'll appoint either somebody from the wheel or Mr. Hines as lead counsel.
Your Honor, would you like to, excuse me, Mr. Hines to join this hearing or wait till another time?
If he's on the list and he's got a law license, I don't need to ask any other questions.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else from the state today?
And feel free to speak up, other prosecutors, but I think basically just sort of getting a setting to start the discussions with the court-appointed lawyer whenever they get assigned.
Ms. Mitchell, you've got your hand up.
I do. I just need to get sworn. as a special prosecutor.
Understand. Have you your oath in front of you?
I was sent the oath by the office. I signed it and sent it back to the district attorney's office for it to be then administered by you, Judge.
By me or by another judge?
I honestly don't know the exact answer to that. Maybe Sean or Kristen does, but
Are you in Fort Bend County now?
I am, sir.
Okay. I don't have a copy of your oath in front of me. So, yeah, Mr. Dick.
So Judge, I sent you an email, albeit late this morning. I sent it about 15 minutes ago to your email address. And we weren't positive that an oath needs to be administered since she actually is an active assistant DA in Fort Bend County. We are still keeping the case. We're not recusing ourselves. But in an abundance of caution, we figured we would both sign the oath, send it to you, allow you to administer it. And, I don't know if Ms. Jernigan has any objections to any of that process or any suggestions.
I don't have any objections at all. I'm, in fact, if, at our next setting, if everybody gets the documents they need, we could do it. I think it's a good idea to do it if you're going to have somebody from another county come in. Judge, you're probably not aware of this, but I practice in Fort Bend County also. So if it's easier for the presiding judge in Fort Bend County to issue it, I'm sure he'd be amenable to doing that. So
We've got a lot of Fort Bend County connections in this case.
coincidentally, but yes.
All right. Ms. Mitchell, would you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully execute the duties of Assistant District Attorney for Williamson County, Texas, as a special prosecutor for the state of Texas versus Holly Arlington, and will, to the best of your ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, and do further solemnly swear or affirm that you have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, or promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or valuable things, or promised any public office or employment as a reward to secure your appointment or confirmation thereof, so help you God.
Yes, Judge, I do.
All right, very well. I will sign this and I'll get it back to Jennifer today. All right, let's talk about, Jennifer.
I'm sorry to interrupt. When we were talking about appointing counsel, Mr. Hines is only a B-level attorney, and I think we have to have an A-level on this matter.
Well, you and I will talk about this after.
Okay.
I think for good cause, I can make exceptions to the local rules. Ms. Jernigan?
Yes, Your Honor. I spoke to Mr. Hines about that, and he was originally a B on the B list, but I think it was in April. He asked the judges to be put back. He used to be on the A list a long time ago, got off. He then asked the judges to be put back on. So I think if maybe we check with the judges, I think he might actually still be back on the A list.
Okay. Good to know. All right. Has discovery been complete now in this case? I assume it has. Nothing else to be done?
No, I haven't received discovery, Your Honor.
Well, I mean, wasn't there a trial before? I mean, wasn't discovery complete then?
I was not the trial lawyer on the original case, Your Honor. I just
I
took
understand
over.
that, but don't you have a file about as thick as a box of a ream of paper that has all that stuff in it?
I have a good portion of it, Your Honor, but I want to make sure, and I have gone and looked at the state's file. It's been a long time, but I want to make sure that I have everything before I, say to the court that discovery is complete.
All right. When are you, is discovery done electronically or in person in Williamson County, Mr. Dick?
So Judge, that's been changing. At the time that Ms. Harrison, her case was handled, we were still doing things, sending things by email. If it was a physical document, we'd make copies. We've since gone pretty much virtual, but Ms. Harrison's documents are going to be sort of, I think, under the old rules. And I know Mr. Smith and Ms. Jernigan can work out whatever they need to essentially the original trial counsel, their entire file is everything we would have had.
Why do you not have access to the original trial file, Ms. Jernigan? Trial counsel's file.
Well,
Have
I
you
spoke,
requested it?
well, Judge, I mean, part of the issue was that I challenged her effectiveness as an attorney. And so we don't have the best professional relationship right now. I can reach out to her and see if she will provide me her complete file.
That's the great thing about email. You don't have to talk to her. So
Yes, Your Honor.
email her, get what she's got. Anything else you need, we can get from Mr. Smith. Can we complete discovery by the end of September?
I think so. I mean, Danny, don't you?
I think so. Make sure I'm not on mute. I think we can. I need to see what I need to go to the office, Your Honor, and look at the physical files and make sure that we've got everything copied. And then once we know who, I guess I can just get it to Ms. Jernigan, and then whoever is appointed is.
Well, I'm going to order that discovery be completed by the end of September. And if you need an extension, apply to the court.
Yes.
I want to
Yes,
get
Your Honor.
the case moving. All right. And then we need a pretrial sometime after the completion of discovery. Jennifer, is there a day of the week or particular dates that are better for this? I guess we'll do this live unless there's some reason not to.
It really just depends on kind of if we're open back up. If we are back in the courtroom, then any Monday, Thursday, or Friday would probably be a better day. We typically have criminal dockets on Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay. So Williamson County Courthouse is not open at all for live hearings at the moment?
Not at this time. Well, there are exceptions to it. So we could see if this we could all get into the courtroom at the same time. Hearing to the social distancing policy that they have. We could definitely try to accomplish that.
Okay. Mr. Dick?
Judge, I was just going to say it's really up to your discretion. So right now we don't really have a lot of live hearings going on. We do have a live grand jury that comes twice a week right now. So we're doing grand juries live, but as far as live hearings, each judge has a day of the week that they can have live hearings, but they're limited to 30 minutes in length and the number of occupants in the room. And those are very, very few and far between right now.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I've ordered that discovery be completed by the end of the month. I'm going to order that any motions from either side that want heard at pretrial be filed by October 16th. After I see the motions, I'll determine whether there are any evidentiary motions or motions that require a live hearing. It may well be that we'll do the pretrial by Zoom. Ms. Jernigan, it's my understanding the law that requires the consent of the defendant. I can't order, because of the confrontation clause, I can't order a defendant to attend the Zoom hearing on the merits, but I would hope that you could advise your client, you and your client would waive live confrontation. But we'll do that on the record at the time if you do it. But if there are no evidentiary hearings or anything that requires us to be in the courtroom live, then we'll set a hearing sometime after the 16th. And then I guess at the pretrial hearing, assuming there's no dispositive motions granted, we would set a trial date. It's my understanding right now that, without a special dispensation from the Office of Court Administration and the regional judge, there aren't any jury trials going on and won't be till after October 1st. And really, I'm not sure how practical they are after October 1st. Have there been any jury trials or plans for jury trials in Williamson County, Mr. Dick?
Sorry, Your Honor, I had to unmute. We did discuss a trial. There was a plan to conduct one of those experimental trials, but it pled about the week before it actually happened. But it was only in discussions right now with misdemeanors, just figuring the numbers were a little more manageable, a little easier to deal with. So at this point, we're kind of still on hold, looking for a little more guidance and kind of watching some of the other counties.
We had our judicial conference last week, and they were telling us about jury trials that are being conducted in some counties, very few, but they're typically not able to do them in the courthouse because of the social distancing of the panel. And they're doing them in convention centers and things like that.
And we have talked about, I think jury selection is something we've figured out a way to make it happen. We have a huge conference room at a county building that holds about 500 people. And so with a little bit of pre-qualifying and doing a hearing, I think you could do voir dire live. The challenge would be just in the courtroom, making sure that witnesses and jurors and everyone remains healthy. That's the real challenge has been sort of the discussion about how the actual trial would play out. Do we all wear masks?
Yeah,
So,
I understand. So we could get some of the guidance from some of the other counties. I doubt you could do the trial in a traditional courtroom simply because of the distancing in the jury box. Because you probably, I assume in a case like this, you have alternate jurors, so you've got 14 people trying to socially distance. We'll need to spread it out a little bit.
certainly, Your Honor. The way we do grand jury right now is we meet in the largest courtroom. It's a ceremonial courtroom. It holds about 350, 400 people. And so the grand jurors kind of spread out 6 to 10 feet apart from each other throughout the courtroom. And the witness will take off their mask to testify. Everyone else wears their masks in there. And so we have 15 to 20 people in there from time to time. And so, the idea would be, and we also have WebEx in each courtroom now. So the idea would be you put the audience in one courtroom, the participants in one courtroom, and the jurors would have another courtroom to deliberate. So everyone could remain distant. So there are some plans for it, and we can certainly work out the logistics.
Yeah,
In some ways, we have an advantage, Judge, because we're sort of independent of the regular dockets and everything else.
all right. Well, we've got a month or two to work that out. Ms. Jernigan?
Yes, Your Honor. I have some concerns about having a trial in this sort of environment with, masks and all that, and my ability to represent my client to my best, ability with those. So if, and we can talk about that when we start doing when we set it for trial and we have a better idea. This thing is so changing and evolving. So maybe we'll have a better idea when we actually set it for trial, what the parameters are, from the CDC or whatever.
The Office of Court Administration is developing guidelines even as we speak. Other counties have had jury trials and have guidelines. I am not going to put this off until we've got 100% saturation with a vaccine. We're gonna plow ahead. Unfortunately, the wheels of justice need to roll, however slowly. All right, anything else to take up today? All right,
Not from the defense, Your Honor.
all right. I'm gonna ask Mr. Smith and Ms. Jernigan to get together, complete the discoveries by the end of the month, and all motions you want heard at pretrial filed by October 16th, and please do copy me with any motions you file. I think hopefully you all have, each of you has my email address.
Yes,
And
Your Honor.
I will sign the Ms. Mitchell's oath and get it to Jennifer. All right. If there's nothing further, I appreciate all y'all's cooperation. Look forward to working with you, and we will see you sometime after the 16th, hopefully.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.